Claire, wonderful to have you here with me. And we met because of our link to organic skin and hair care. Am I right?
Exactly, yes. Lovely to be here. Thank you, Pam, for inviting me on. Yes, we did. We both connected through kind of that clean product, that organic skincare, exactly as you've said. Yeah.
And I've become more and more organic. I'm not perfect by any stretch, but I just don't see any point in not being organic where you can be.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm the same, both with what I put on my body and what I put in my body.
Exactly. Exactly. So I wanted to talk to you today on the nutritional side. So you are a nutritional therapist at Tingle and Glow Nutritional Therapy. And following you, I've seen some really interesting little snippets that I've been thinking, I want to know more. And one of the things that I've been seeing coming up, so many of the young people in their early 20s are suffering from anxiety. And you posted a really interesting article, probably a year ago now, about the link between nutrition, your gut health, and anxiety. What is that all about?
Definitely. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I specialize in the gut. That's my passion. And the reason for that is because the gut connects to everything.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of our health, our overall health is dictated by our gut health. Whether that is our immune system, whether is that is our vitamin and mineral profile, whether that is our mental health. So exactly what you've said there, anxiety can be and is linked to the health of our gut. And when I say gut, I mean the full digestive system. So often when we say gut, we think, oh, our belly, we think about bloating, we think about like running to the bathroom, upset tummies, or the opposite way, constipation. But actually, our digestive tract is like a big tube all the way through us. It starts in our mouth, down our throat, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and right through to the rectum. And we forget that it's such a comprehensive system. And there's so many different pieces to it. And there's so many other organs and nerves that link into it and its function along the way. So, specifically, when we're talking anxiety, we're looking at that gut brain connection, often called the gut brain axis. And the key to this is the vagus nerve. And it's basically like a highway that runs from the brain down to the gut. And that it is a highway in that there's information that goes both ways. But there's actually more information that goes from the gut up to the brain than there is coming down from the brain to the gut. So it's fascinating because then you also have to think, well, who's in charge of us? Like if all that communication is going up the way and our brain is being influenced by all these thousands of signals that are coming from the gut and the community that lives there. So all the bacteria, all the viruses, the molds, yeasts, even parasites, unfortunately, all of those signals are coming up from the gut. Who's ruling the roost here? So when it comes to anxiety specifically, our gut has specifically the intestines. And often when we talk about the gut, a lot of that research is the large intestine or even the last segment of it, the colon. So when we're looking at how the gut and that gut community can actually affect our moods and affect our feelings of anxiousness and overwhelm, and even into the realms of things like depression, it's all to do with the balance of all of those gut bugs, specifically within the large intestine. And part of that is because of what they produce for us. So a lot of the research recently has suddenly found out that actually the gut produces a ton of things for us. So whether that's vitamins and minerals directly, rather than us getting them through what we're eating, through our
Mm-hmm.
diet,
Mm-hmm.
but they also create hormones for us. Now, often when I say hormones, people think immediately sex hormones, because that tends to be where we end up thinking and using the term hormones about. It's always our sex hormones. But hormones literally are just all the signaling molecules in
Yeah.
the body. We have to have a ton of hormones. So we have hormones for hunger and feeling full. We have hormones that also make us happy hormones. So these are the ones that are then getting made in the gut, serotonin being one of the big ones.
Okay.
GABA is also another one. So yeah, so our actual gut bacteria specifically, when we're talking about the community, it's actually certain gut bacteria that create these happy hormones for us, these neurotransmitters. And they start in the gut and they travel often along that vagus nerve, that highway I was talking about. They travel from the gut up and into the brain. If we don't have that production in the digestive system, we don't have that traveling up to the brain, and then the brain doesn't get what it needs hormone wise to feel good, to feel rewarded, or to feel motivated. We don't have that happy feeling because we're not getting that hormone production.
So a lot of our emotions are not as complex and complicated as we think they are. They basically come from good health.
Exactly, yes. So when we feel good physically, including our gut, our belly, our digestive system, when we feel like we are digesting our food properly, it's passing through, we're going to the bathroom regularly, we feel emotionally much, much better. We feel physically lighter, but energetically lighter. We feel happy, we feel inspired, we feel motivated. We've got much more get up and go, don't we?
Mm. Quite interesting. I hadn't realized there was such a strong link and such a direct link. Um,
Yes.
because as a nurse, I was a nurse for 35 years. You're very well aware of the serotonins and all of those things. Now, what impacts the making of those?
So if we don't have enough of those serotonin producing bacteria or the GABA producing bacteria, we cannot then create it. And it's sometimes even a little bit more complicated. It's not even just that we have one type of bacteria. It might be that one type of bacteria takes something that we've eaten and it converts it into one thing, and then a different bacteria then converts it into what we actually need. So there can be a bit of a chain reaction. And if you're missing any of the different bacteria within that chain, you're then losing out because you're not getting what you need produced. So in terms of that serotonin, yeah, if you've got any of those missing links or you don't have enough of them, you're not going to be producing enough or any of that serotonin.
Interesting, because serotonin is something that I for on short periods of my life, I think twice or three times, I've taken serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and they worked. But I
Mm-hmm.
never knew there was a gut link to serotonin.
Yeah. Oh, I love it that you've mentioned medication. That's absolutely
Mm.
perfect. I work with a lot of clients that are already on medication for various things, and often on medication for anxiety, for depression. And then we have to look at how is that actually affecting the gut, because they're oral medications. So they actually in themselves have a bit of a feedback loop because they are affecting the bacteria that are able to survive in that gut environment purely by them taking them. So it's really, really interesting that you mentioned that. And sometimes the side effects can be worsening gut symptoms. They're actually gut irritants. So then that then could cause bloating, constipation, more diarrhea, or worsening symptoms if somebody already has some gut based.
So tell me, in terms of anxiety, the article that I read that you had posted or linked to mentioned that while eating junk food,
Yep.
you're setting yourself up to be more likely to have anxiety, which to me, standing from my position at 57, looking back and saying, the children of today, they eat such junk, that I thought, well, this is obvious, but I never knew there was such a strong link. What is that all about? Why is junk food specifically a problem?
Yeah. So junk food is in the beige color realm, isn't it? And it's often very processed. So it's not whole foods. It's not got a lot of fiber. Often it's a lot of refined white flour products, loads of sugar, loads of additives, loads of colorings, lots of preservatives, full of chemicals. And the problem when we eat a lot of that is that those processed foods don't contain what our good bacteria need to eat themselves. So when we eat, we feed them too. And we
Should
need
be
to make
feeding
sure,
them.
well, we should be feeding them, exactly. So they can only go with what we provide. So if we have a diet then that is very heavy in junk food, the good bacteria, and I say good, not because we specifically have ones that only do good things for us and then other ones on the other end of the scale that only do bad things for us. We need both types, but we need them in certain ratios. We need a lot of the good gut bugs, and we need a small amount of the so-called bad gut bugs. So if we're eating junk food all the time, the good gut bugs can't survive on pizza. They can't survive on a pasta diet. They can't survive on chewy sweeties and bars of chocolate and cake. They need the rainbow of colors. So all of those colors correspond to different vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and anti-inflammatories to create a really nice, cozy environment for them to grow in. And they need the fiber from fruits and vegetables in order to be able to eat that and survive and grow more of them. So if they're not getting that fiber, you're not eating enough of it, they start to die. We lose their input. We lose their ability to do all the things and in the levels that we need them to do that. So even just going back to serotonin, if we don't have enough of the bacteria, they're dying off, we're not feeding them, we lose the ability then to create that serotonin and have it travel to the brain in the levels we need it to feel happy.
Well, thank you. That explains, but it also reinforces this whole thing about eat a healthy diet. I mean, as I say, I've been a nurse for 30 odd years. So we're talking the known stuff from 30, 40 years ago was eat a balanced diet, eat a range of colors,
Yep.
eat natural foods. So it's not only organic, natural, but organic, of course, is that much better because you don't have any added toxins that would upset other things in your body. And I read an article, and I really must find it again, about how things like junk foods often have man-made nutritions which are not actually nutritious. And
This
there
is your
is, and
fortified foods,
yes,
yes.
and there's actually apparently an element of addiction to that. They are designed to be addictive, which is a whole nother discussion. So thanks, Claire. We'll go on to a few more because I want us to be talking in future episodes about ADHD, menopause. But I think the addictive quality of junk food should be discussed so that you're aware of it and you're realizing it's not just me. I actually do crave this, even though I don't like it necessarily. So, Claire, thank you so much. That was really interesting
Most
to
welcome.
remind us of the very strong link between what we eat and how we feel. And it's not complicated, but it shouldn't be underestimated that our moods have a huge impact on us and achieving what we'd like to achieve in our lives.
Oh, definitely, definitely. And even when you think about literally like nourishing yourself, you're nourishing more than just the physical by eating a delicious, colorful, exciting looking plate of fruits and vegetables of all the different rainbow colors. You might have some pasta on there, you might have some meat, you might have some fish, depends what diet you're following. But as long as that is that rainbow plate, you know you're going to be nourishing everything. And then that's going to spiritually make you feel better. Like it's nourishing body and soul when you're eating all of that beautiful color.